Hey, it's your girl Lavinia Masters, and today my journal entry is entitled Giving Myself Grace. Today I found myself sitting quietly, reflecting on a moment where I felt like I had failed again in an area of my life that I have always wrestled with. You know those places now, those recurring struggles that seem to creep back up, no matter how much progress we think we've made. Maybe it's in how we respond when we are overwhelmed. Maybe it's in trying to maintain balance when life is pulling us in different directions, thousands of different directions. Or maybe it's in those places where our flesh reminds us that we are in fact human. And as I sat there, the weight of disappointment tried to settle in on me, y'all. That voice, that harsh inner critic that lives inside of all of us started whispering, "See, you messed up again. You should be further along by now. You should be stronger, Lavinia. You should know better." That voice of self-condemnation is quick, sharp, and relentless. But in the stillness, as my tears threatened to fall, I remembered something powerful. God sees me differently than I see myself. He sees the heart, the intent, the desire behind my actions, even when my execution falls short. I may call it failure, I may call it weakness, but He calls it being human. He calls it growth, and most importantly, He calls me His child. We are so often our worst critics. We measure ourselves against impossible standards and expect perfection, forgetting that we were never designed to get everything right. You see, life itself is filled with challenges, struggles, and valleys that test us in ways we don't always anticipate. Yet, in those very valleys, God is present. His grace is abundant, His forgiveness is immediate, and His understanding of our hearts far surpasses our self-judgment. So I realized in that moment that I had to extend grace to myself. The same grace that I am so quick to extend to others. Isn't it funny how easily we forgive others, comfort them, and tell them it's okay when they stumble. But when it comes to ourselves, we carry the weight of guilt and shame like a badge we can't put down. Dear hearts, do you know that God never intended for us to live that way? He calls us to cast our burdens on Him. He calls us to rest in His mercy. So today, I forgave myself. I spoke it out loud. Lavinia, you are not perfect, and you don't have to be. God still loves you, girl. God still sees your dedication. God still knows your heart. This is not the end. It's simply a step in the journey. That simple act of speaking life over myself shifted something. The heaviness lifted, the tears dried, and I could feel resilience rising within me again. Because here's the truth. Every so-called failure is not a final destination. It is a moment of learning, of humility, of deepening faith. It is a reminder that I cannot do this journey on my own. I must lean on Him daily. The enemy wants us weary. He wants us to carry shame and condemnation so heavy that we can't move forward. But in Galatians 6 and 9, God tells us, "Let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not." That scripture holds me today. Because even when I stumble, even when I fall short, even when I don't feel strong enough, my faithfulness and resilience are not erased. My story is not erased. My calling is not erased. Life has taught me, though, that struggles are inevitable. The waves will come, the storms will rage, but resilience is not about never stumbling. It's about rising again after the stumble. It's about taking God's hand, letting Him lift us up, dust us off, and remind us My daughter, my son, I am with you always, even here, even now. So today, I choose to give myself grace. I choose to forgive myself quickly, just as God forgives me. I choose to stop rehearsing my mistakes and start rehearsing His promises. Because at the end of the day, what I call failure, God often calls progress. What I call a setback, God calls a setup for growth. To anyone listening to this and struggling with self-condemnation, please hear me now. You are not your mistakes. You are not your stumbles. You are not defined by where you feel you fall short. You are defined by a God who sees you, who loves you, and who celebrates every step you take toward Him. Don't let your inner critic silence the truth of who you really are. If you have failed, so what? Get back up. Forgive yourself. Speak life over yourself. Trust that resilience is ready and in your DNA. Remember that the same God who created the heavens and the earth created you, and He didn't make a mistake. So, tonight, I will rest in grace. Tomorrow, I will rise in resilience. And every single day, I will remind myself, God sees my heart, He knows my intentions, and He loves me beyond my imperfections. That truth alone is enough to keep me moving forward, no matter how many times I stumble along the way. You don't remember anything else I said today? Remember, give yourself some grace.